On 60 Minutes this week, Leslie Stahl interviewed a man few people have heard of, Brad Parscale. He was an influential player in the Trump campaign, working behind the scenes as a sort of secret weapon, reports Stahl. Parscale was hired to run the digital team but eventually came to oversee advertising, data collection, and much of the campaign's fundraising. Parscale told Stahl that in the weeks leading up to the election he saw evidence that Trump would win, and he became certain of victory the Wednesday before the election. Parscale says he took that message to his campaign's leadership, to Trump himself, and to television news organizations including CBS News. What happened in those conversations is the subject of this week's 60 Minutes Overtime feature, posted in the video player above. The script is as follows. 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl interviews Brad Parscale, digital director for the Trump campaign. Leslie Stahl: you're a marketing, branding, web specialist. Brad Parscale: yeah. Leslie Stahl: never worked on a campaign. All of a sudden, you're running almost everything. What happened here? You're like the secret sauce, the magic wand person. Brad Parscale: I think Leslie Stahl: you're Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. Brad Parscale: no, that's a big statement, but I think I played a big role, yeah. Leslie Stahl: our story's on a man named Brad Parscale, who was very high up in the Trump campaign organization. No one's heard of him, but he was a big decision maker and extremely influential in helping Trump win because he was online making the digital ads. Brad Parscale: right in here, you can see the first 3 deplorable ones. Brad Parscale: here you have different photos of different type of people saying they're deplorables. Leslie Stahl: so these were basically with Hillary looking quite ugly and mean. Brad Parscale: those tested well. Leslie Stahl: the mean face tested well. Brad Parscale: yeah. We tested different of her face expressions. Brad Parscale: I think one of the best ones was the laughing one. You know, it was actually a really strong one we used as well, often. Leslie Stahl: the producer, Shaka Baron, had to convince him to do the interview. Shachar Baron: well, just cause it's really visible. Leslie Stahl: at first he was reluctant, and these are the things we often do to get someone from no to yes. And Silvio: did you have a sense of why he did this interview with 60 Minutes? Leslie Stahl: I kinda had the impression that he was the unsung hero, in a way. And he wanted to have a little song done about him. And Silvio: so it's a little bit of a victory lap. Leslie Stahl: exactly. It's a little bit of a victory lap. Leslie Stahl: when did you realize he was gonna win? Brad Parscale: when I really knew. Leslie Stahl: yeah. Brad Parscale: the Wednesday before. I knew the Republican Party was outperforming anything in history. Brad Parscale: I start Leslie Stahl: did they say you were crazy? Brad Parscale: it was stronger in Michigan. But I was, like, we can go in and get this, and I changed all the budgets around. Studiolesley Stahl: he says that he was the one who decided to take resources away from Virginia, which he realized they were losing, and Ohio, they realized they had in the pocket, and put the money and the resources up into Michigan and Wisconsin, which everybody thinks made the difference in the campaign. Brad Parscale: I took every nickel and dime I could out of anywhere else, and I moved it to Michigan and Wisconsin. And I started buying advertising, digital, TV. Leslie Stahl: but you began to make the decision, am I correct, to send Trump in there? Brad Parscale: I started definitely giving people saying we need to go. Leslie Stahl: you know something, I don't think the Trumps thought they were gonna win that night. Brad Parscale: I kept telling them. I told them every day, they're gonna win. Brad Parscale: but then you turn on CNN, and you turn on Real Clear Politics, and they're all like, he's gonna get creamed. And so why would you believe what Leslie Stahl? And who was Brad Parscale? Brad Parscale: exactly. But I actually went in, and I showed people, I showed multiple news stations. I said exactly how many points we're gonna win. Leslie Stahl showed news organizations. Brad Parscale: yeah, I went to NBC, I went this station, CBS. And I went Leslie Stahl: that's where I work. Brad Parscale: and I got made fun of. Leslie Stahl, you got made fun of at CBS. Bradparscale, oh yeah, it's CBS. Studioleslie Stahl, yeah. He told us that he came well to all the networks, but specifically came here to CBS to explain why Donald Trump was gonna win. And he says people here basically laughed at him. Leslie Stahl, what happened? Bradparscale, they just thought I was a joke. Leslie Stahl, how do you to your face? Bradparscale, they can tell in the attitude in the room. They had no idea who I was. Studioleslie Stahl, so some of the people in the room told us afterward that they did not take him as a joke. They took it very seriously. But they did cross-examine him, and challenged him. Bradparscale, they tried to make me ask me questions that challenged me if I really understood data, digital. And I could just see that they just the eyes, and the piercing questions. Studioleslie Stahl, so they were skeptical. But they say they did not treat him as a joke. Leslie Stahl, so how do you feel about what you did? Bradparscale, I'm proud. Scott Pelley, and here is Donald Trump. Bradparscale, he thanked me after the election, told me I did a great job, can't ask for more. Well, and we had some tense moments during the campaign, him and I, so. Leslie Stahl, oh, tell me about that. Bradparscale, I remember I was sitting on my computer. And he goes, what are you working on? So show him some ads. He spends about 20 minutes with me. Bradparscale, so he looks at the TV, and he says, that is what I believe wins a campaign. Leslie Stahl TV, Bradparscale TV. Leslie Stahl, not digital. Bradparscale, so he starts laying into me about TV. And I don't believe in this mumbo-jumbo digital stuff, and, you know, it's incoming. And all I can say is, you know, it's gonna work. And Trump's just laying into me. I was crushed actually. It was the first time he had ever, I hadn't even seen him yell at anyone, let alone me. Leslie Stahl, it took forever for Trump to buy it, to think it was a valid way to go about reaching people. And Silvio, but he came around. Leslie Stahl, well, when he won, he came around.